I'm UAnime5 and I'm here to explain the starting position of Korea and the start of the Imjin War. Joseon Korea was founded in 1392 when General Yi Seong overthrew the king of Goryeo and made himself king. In order to prevent other generals overthrowing his descendants, the Korean generals were required to remain in the capital until they needed to go to another location. While this was good for political stability, it was bad militarily, as there would be delays between an invasion and the general being able to take effective action. This is represented in this mod by having most of the Korean generals around the capital, Hanseong. Until 1592, the main threats were the Jurchen nomads in the north and the Wako Japanese pirates in the south. As a result, the Korean government had most of their army located in the north to counter any land invasions. The Korean Navy was located in the south to fight pirates, and the local people were advised that when pirates attacked they should retreat to a fortified position, as the pirates would not be willing to maintain a siege. However, over a century of peace meant that both the army and the navy were in poor condition. Prior to the war in 1592, Toyotomi Hideyoshi demanded that Korea submit to Japan and allow his army to pass through Korea so they could attack Ming China. As a loyal vassal of China, Korea refused this demand. Hideyoshi then said that if Korea refused to allow his army passage, he would conquer Korea. Envoys from the two main political parties in Korea, the East and the West Party, then visited Hideyoshi to determine whether Hideyoshi was serious about invading. As one of the envoys thought Hideyoshi was serious, while the other thought he was bluffing, the Korean court was divided and few preparations were made. When Japan invaded with 158,000 soldiers on the 13th of April 1592, the Korean Navy under Admiral Won-gun initially did nothing as they thought this was a trade mission. After realizing it was an invasion, the admirals of Gwansang, Won-gun and Park Hong both retreated. After the Japanese destroyed the city of Busan, then attacked the nearby ships, both admirals destroyed their ships to prevent them being captured and then retreated. Many Koreans responded to this invasion as though it was a normal pirate attack by running away from the Japanese army and heading for more secure locations. As a result, the Japanese encountered little resistance from the army. This is represented in game by not allowing non-Korean factions to recruit Korean units, as there would be few people willing to fight. While the Koreans didn't fight the Japanese in pitched battles, they did form various militias known as the Righteous Armies, and launch guerrilla raids against the Japanese. This is represented in game by the Righteous Korean rebel units. By the 5th of June, the Japanese army had made it to Cheongju, where they fought General Sin Rip. Sin Rip then positioned his army against a river to prevent them retreating, but the Japanese countered this by attacking with their arquebuses rather than fighting in close combat. As a result, the Korean army was destroyed and the Korean royal family retreated to Pyongyang. As the royal family retreated, the Korean army had no motivation to defend Gyeongsang and fled. Thus Hanseong was captured on the 10th of June. After capturing Hanseong, the Japanese army marched to Pyongyang. Though the Koreans initially defended Pyongyang, once they noticed that the Japanese were able to cross the Taedong River, they retreated and the Japanese captured Pyongyang on the 20th of July. The Japanese then focused their attention on attacking the Jurchens as the Korean army had effectively been beaten. While the Japanese land campaign was going well, their naval campaign was not. In June and July of 1592, Admiral Yi Sun-Shin's command of the Korean Navy resulted in over 100 Japanese ships being destroyed. This prevented the Japanese from resupplying their armies in Western Korea by sea and slowed down their advance into China. As there aren't any supply lines in Shogun 2, this is represented in game by being unable to recruit or replace Japanese units outside of Japan. On the 5th of January 1593, an army of 40,000 from China arrived in Pyongyang to help Korea. This force would stop the Japanese invasion of China and force the Japanese to retreat to southern Korea. However, the war would last many more years.